So this figure has not arrived at my local Forbidden Planet store due to someone forgetting how to drive the lorry. We have here in stock and it says write a review. But if you've known me for quite a while, I like to physically review the product, but I'm just going to do something a bit different today. And go, imagine this one, double the size and actually looking like Peter Capaldi but a bit less depressed. The new one is better. Hello YouTube and welcome to another Doctor Who video. Now as Series 9 is only a week away now, come to think of it, I'm going to do something completely not related to Series 9 and take a look at another Doctor Who Big Finish audio. Hopefully I'm going to be able to compare this to The Magician's Apprentice and say that it's absolutely amazing along with this story, because I've got my expectations raised at the moment because I've been listening to Big Finish, so hopefully Series 9 will actually pay out and be worth it. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a story that I have been saying about now time and time again in many different videos. I don't actually know how many takes of this actually kept in the last video, but I mentioned it time and time again. It is The Holy Terror. Now this is an audio CD that I've wanted for a while. It is in fact the first ever Big Finish audio that I listened to all the way through this year. I believe I listened to the Mutant Phase when it was free in Doctor Who Adventures quite a long time ago now. I think that would have been like 2008. But yeah, this is my first Big Finish audio of the year that I listened to, and it's got Colin in, and I absolutely love it. This is possibly one of my favourite Doctor Who stories of all time, and I mean that including the actual televised stories as well. I absolutely love this story. This is one of the only two stories to feature Frobisher, which is the Sixth Doctor companion, the Penguin Whifferdale, and he is absolutely amazing, and he definitely keeps the story together very, very well. Now, of course, features Colin, which is on top form as normal, and this one is quite a special one. I got this off eBay for surprisingly quite a low price of only like £15, and I've got quite a lot of signatures on this, and I'm really happy to own it. Now, so taking a look at the CD itself, as you can see, it's quite standard, actually, one of the first ones that was ever released, so it doesn't really have much design on. So you have Doctor Who, The Holy Terror there. We have an image of the Sixth Doctor there, and going along we have Frobisher in some CGI form, along with his statue, which is really nice in this really nice medieval style background, an original audio drama starring Colin Baker. On the back, it is very, very generic, as you can see me in a reflection, hello, but yeah, we have a few things there about the story. So as you can see, we have many different signatures. We have Nick Pegg, who's the director, we have Rob Sherman, of course, the writer, also known as the writer of Dalek, and this is official signatures, and then we have Frobisher himself, Robert Zizek, we have another member of the cast, who I keep on forgetting her name. On the inside, we have both of the CDs, as you can see there. You might just be able to see a bit of Frobisher. They've really nicely designed the cover, so you can sort of see Frobisher translucently, and it's really weird and shiny, and you can't really see because of my reflection. Then opening it up, the other one is exactly the same, but as you can see, we have a really nice image there of Robert Zizek and Colin Baker, which is really nice. Taking a look at the booklet now, we have some information there about Big Finish. Pause if you want to read that. And then, of course, we have the cover on the front. And then opening it, we have a bit of information about the cast and writers and things, which is really nice. Then we have the cast list itself stretching across the other stories. There you have the also available, and the very small amount of Big Finish that was actually available at the time, as I said, this was one of the first ones made. And then what I really like is we actually have some advertisements for the BBC novelisations, which are now pretty outdated. Pretty much the only main cast member that hasn't actually signed this, which is Colin, which I've got the This Is Colin Baker interview CD, which is of course signed by him as well. So yeah, quite a lot of my Big Finish collection is currently signed, which I'm really happy about. But yeah, going on to the episode itself and how brilliant it is, quite honestly, it is rather gruesome. I've heard quite a lot of things about this story in the past when people have mentioned Big Finish. The Holy Terror has been quite up there, and considering it's one of the first ones made, it's one that's kept quite an interesting reputation because it includes Colin Baker. If you know, his televised stories are quite known as being quite gruesome, and this audio sort of backs that up quite interestingly. I think that this might have been toned down in other Big Finish audios, but this one definitely delves in there in that gruesome effect, and it is a very, very interesting story. This episode features Colin Baker and Frobisher, and first off I'm going to talk about their relationship, because they are possibly one of my favourite companion Doctor trios ever, because it's a great little partnership. I think that Frobisher really brings the story together quite well. He's very entertaining, and he is actually quite a contrast to the actual setting of the story, because he is a very weird character. He's something that's different because of he's a talking penguin. That is sort of quite different, isn't it, compared to Perry or whatever. But yeah, he is a very interesting character, because the first time we see him, he's in the TARDIS with a little fish in a bath. what else do I need to say? It is a very, very nice relationship between the Doctor and Frobisher, because it's just a different one, and it's something that the new series misses out on. If we are to have anybody as the next companion, bring back Frobisher, because that would be amazing. I don't even care if you need to spend half of the budget on making a CGI talking penguin. Just make Frobisher the companion, please. Basically, the story starts with this old man in this cellar. Basically, he's been captured sort of by the knights of the castle in a way, and he's going to be done for treason, basically. He's going to be killed, because that's how it works in this constituency thing. Basically, he supports Peppy the Sixth, I think, and basically, Peppy the Sixth is dead, which isn't very good, so therefore it's somehow treason in the laws of this wonderful place. But yeah, it's treason, so he's going to get killed. But he says before he's killed, I will now support Peppy the Seventh, and then they withdraw all of the death charges, which straight away it's quite an unusual way to start a story, but I think it's quite a nice way to draw in the attention. It is in a castle, which it's not really specified, I don't think, what date this castle is in, but it is rather historical. It's on an alien planet, I do think. This planet is rather medieval, which is what I quite like. It's rather, if you took out a bit of the context in there, it would definitely be a medieval classical story. Basically, as the king is doing this speech, the TARDIS lands, and that is seen as a magical thing, because at the end of every single speech, a magical thing is meant to happen. And a blue police box landing is quite a magical thing. And the Sixth Doctor and Frobisher walk out, and Frobisher then ends up being king, which is very interesting. He is a very good king. He wants to basically change the laws of the planet, because he doesn't really see how it works. Well, at this moment it's a planet, but then we soon find out it's not. But yeah, he wants to change the way that the planet works, and he wants to change the way that people see each other. Ow, I hurt myself. He wants to change the opinion of people, and so they can have different opinions and things, and sort of have a free will in a way, because they are willingly killed and willingly hurt, and it's really weird, and it's sort of a bit, it's not humane at all. It is a very weird story, because Peppy the Sixth dies, and his wife is just there like, oh, you can kill me now, and then they take her to the cell, and she actually wants to be killed. If I was to explain the story in a few words, it would be very weird context and gruesome. Now I'm going to get on to the gruesome bit. Basically, this episode features eye gouging, horror, threats, pain, torture, knives, murder, killing. I believe rats as well. So this episode basically features quite a lot of torture, and this is one episode that would definitely not get into Doctor Who these days. I would probably say that if this was done in full potential, it would probably be a 10 o'clock drama. A very gruesome story, and something that definitely the BBC wouldn't be able to do. For a start, people die. Yay! We've not really seen many people die in Doctor Who. I think we actually seen people die in Into the Dalek, which is absolutely amazing, Moffat. Keep up the work. Hopefully we'll see more people die in The Magician's Apprentice, and that sounds really bleak and dull and horrible, but it's getting ridiculous, because it's like you're getting an invasion, and it's not really much of a threat when nobody dies, is it? So, you know, we need death in Doctor Who again. The helicopter to go by again. Just reading through the helpful mini cast list. It's really hard to hold this thing because I don't want to damage it, but yeah. We have a different cast list for this story, actually. We have a lot of different medieval types of names. There's Captain Siganius, Tactius, Ben Graria, Levilla, which is somebody who I've got signed with this. Yay. Pepin, Childrick, Clovis, and well, basically, trying to pronounce these names gives my head a headache, and I'm not going to refer to them by their names. I'm going to refer to them as Man 1 and Man 5. How about that? Basically, once the woman, the king's wife, is sent to the torture chambery place, she bumps into her son, I think it's her son, called Childrick, and basically he wants to overthrow the new king and become the new master of everything and all that. And then he wants to do this is his plan, so I think his plan is to kill the king, which is something that actually happens after the throning of the king. Once he is officially king, he then goes to his chamber, and then somebody comes in to try and assassinate him. I do believe he has a gun in the story, which is something not very medieval, is it? But yeah, he has the gun, but the gun doesn't actually have any bullets in it. It's literally like a theatre production. It just has to happen. And in the weird book, because there's this guy, I think it's called Clovis, I think that's the guy in there. But yeah, Clovis, he basically needs to write it all down, like a massive story, and all the different things that happen word for word, which must be a really boring job. But yeah, I actually found myself listening to The Holy Terror all in one evening and absolutely loving it. Literally, by the time the episode ended, my jaw was with shock because it is that good. So basically something's going on and we have this weird character called Childrick who likes pulling wings off flies as a child, which... he's nice, isn't he? He's a lovely child. I would love to meet him. But yeah, he is really weird and a bit loopy in the head. And basically, there is this little thing in the cellar, or the crypt of the castle, and nobody knows what it is. And all of the people who work closely to the king needs to have their tongues cut out, so they can't say what is down. They know what's down there, but they can't physically say it. So you have people who get their tongues ripped out, which is another thing to add to the gruesome list. Yeah, you have tongues being ripped out as well. And I think we actually see somebody in the episode, I think it's actually Clovis who writes down the things, and he finds out that what is down there, and he needs to have his tongue ripped out, and he's quite willingly about it. He's like, oh, okay. And I think they actually start to rip his tongue out and then sort of stop midway through. I think. I can't really remember, but there was a bit of screaming. And once again, I was thinking, oh, this is something that you wouldn't see in the new series, but interesting, to say the least. I'm now going to go on to the massive spoilery thing of the story. Basically, we have this evil satanic child in the cellar who is absolutely evil, and I love it. It is a brilliant, brilliant idea. And for a start, the child goes around saying, "Are you my father? Are you my mummy? I wonder where Stephen Moffat got the inspiration for Are You My Mummy from, when this episode has Are You My Father?" I was quite shocked to actually see that, because I think that that is a very big similarity. And basically, there's this evil satanic child. And he's going to kill absolutely everything until he finds his father. Which is good, isn't it? But yeah, we've got this castle, and basically, I'm going to say the massive spoiler of the story now. The castle is fake, in case you've not gathered that already. The castle is fake, everything is fake, the people are fake, and it is sort of like a dream world to help his father, because the father killed his child, he cold-blooded murdered him. Yay! Murder. The father decided to kill his child, and he felt really bad about this. Bit late now, isn't it? Well done. But yeah, he's killed his child, so he sets up sort of like this dream world for him to live in eternal peace. In the end, to sort of stop the dream world, his child needs to kill his father with a knife. Yeah, I know, I'm not actually lying, this is what happens in the story. Basically, the child needs to kill his father to stop the end of the dream world, and then everything goes back to normal, and then nothing happens. Woohoo. It is very dark. Basically, that is what happens at the end of the story, and the child is just so evil. The voice that he has is really bloody evil. It's, he basically has this power where you have the child, and he's there going, "Are you my father?" Well, he doesn't specifically go like that, but you know. He has the power to have, say, a 60-year-old man, and he can sort of de-age this person up until a child, until he bursts into a ball of just cells on the floor. So basically he can reverse aging, which he can reverse aging whilst you're there and you can feel it, and then that leads to even more screaming and torture. And yeah, basically he's a really evil kid, and I think the voice works well. They destroyed the people, I will destroy the castle, and then I will be with my father. It's so creepy. Just listen to the trailer. And then, as I said, Frobisher accidentally becomes king, and he wants to rewrite everything because he's a giant talking bird, and it allows for some humorous scenes where everybody's like, "All hail the talking bird." And I did say all hail at that point because I'm sad and lonely. Because I like Frobisher, okay. Sort of start to, you can see that because first off there's like this vote for somebody else to become king, and well, he sets out this vote, and then somebody comes to him and goes, "You need to give the people permission to vote in this thing." So basically the people are not allowed to do absolutely anything without their king sort of letting them through permission, which it must be a weird world to live in. But I think that it's written very well. I think Rob Sherman definitely got this rather controlled atmosphere, and it's and then basically we have Frobisher. This statue is made of him, which is actually the thing, which if you can see there, Frobisher has this statue made, it's very nice, and it has a smaller beak, and the guy who's sort of like Frobisher's advisor says, "The beak is too small, should we kill the maker of the statue?" And because Frobisher can sort of change himself, he actually morphs his beak into a smaller one just so the guy can't be killed, which is a good way to get around things, and I think that definitely works well with Frobisher's idea of transformation, because I think it works a little bit better in the comics. I think it's more of a comic style thing, and throughout both of the Big Finish audios that I've listened to with Frobisher in, they don't really use the idea of the the morphing into things as an advantage, as I could definitely see that in the new series. I think that if we had the Frobisher now, I think that it would be used way too much, the morphing idea, and I think that this works very well. It's not really a thing that affects the story, it's just sort of to save one person's life. So it's just a small little thing. This story is so powerful because this is, as I said, the first audio that I've listened to in the whole of this year, as I have done this in a different order as I reviewed the Last Adventures box set last week. She listened to this before that. Overall, it is like 120 minutes. Does it have a running time anywhere? On the CD, maybe? Running time 140 minutes. That was a good guess. So that is quite a long time. And it held my attention for all of it. As I said, I ended this episode thinking, oh my god, it is absolutely amazing. And I just sat there for about half an hour thinking, this is so gruesome, but it works so well. As I said, recently I've been trying to watch quite a lot of Big Finish relating to the 6th Doctor. I want to start with the 6th Doctor. I know that a lot of people say the 8th Doctor is brilliant, which I think he will be on audio because the majority of his era is on audio. And I believe that also Rob Sherman written an episode called The Chimes of Midnight with the 8th Doctor. I've heard that that one is rather unexpected, and people don't like to say a lot about it because you need to listen to it to sort of understand it, and you need to also listen to it for the surprise apparently that there is, which I do believe is something that this story has as well, which I've sort of ruined in this review. But yeah, even though I went into the story and I've actually listened to it twice, I listened to it the other night again for this review, and I happily listened to it again, which is something that I thought I would never say. I thought that I would honestly finish an audio story and think, oh my god, thank god that is over. I never thought that within a month I would be listening to it again. Even though it's not just for review purposes, for general entertainment. I never thought that I would generally listen to something like this that is 140 minutes long just for sheer entertainment purposes, because this is a brilliant, brilliant story. I think that this episode is generally one of those ones that is possibly a classic. I've heard a lot about this one in the past. As soon as I've heard about Big Finish, this one has been not far down the list as being a really, really good one. So if you're interested in the story and generally like what you've heard, meaning murder, gouging out of eyes and everything else, buy this. It's unfortunately, as I said, it's currently out of print, and I don't think it'll ever come back in on Big Finish, which is something that I was really sad about because I thought I would never be able to get it for a suitable price. But yeah, I managed to find this on eBay, just a lucky thing. I looked on and I found the Holy Terror. I do believe there's some on at the moment for around £15. So if you're interested in the story in physical form, I would highly recommend it. But if you don't want to get that, and if you just want to get a digital version, there you go, £2.99 on Big Finish. For £2.99, you cannot go wrong. And then the other episode that Frobisher in is the Maltese Penguin. Now, I do believe that this one is actually 33.5. So that one is 14. So this is sort of like the sequel. Unfortunately, Frobisher only had 2 stories on Big Finish, and I definitely prefer this one over this one, which I think is sort of like the general opinion, as this one is rather, this is practically a Doctor Light story in a way, and it's just based around Frobisher on his planet, but Colin Baker is in it in an unexpected way, where he can't really be classed as the Doctor. But yeah, I definitely prefer this one over this one. If you'd like me to review the Maltese Penguin, please comment below. I might just review it anywhere when I have sort of like a spare content space. But yeah, I love these two. This one is in fact on the Big Finish website and for only £5, so I got this one to sort of complete Frobisher collection. But yeah, I love both of these stories. I love Frobisher. Get them. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a big like and please subscribe if you're not already. If you have any questions, please do leave them below and I'll be sure to answer them at some point in the near future. Thanks again for watching. I shall see you all next time. So yeah, thanks for watching and bye for now.